Today we're going to talk about the Coil car. Now before we get there, I just want to revisit the question, why coil? Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you look around in your daily life, you'll see sheet metal everywhere. It's in your kitchen, it's making up most of your car, it's at the airport. Now, all of those products, in order to get manufactured cost effectively, have to be able to be moved once, touched once. You guys know all of these things in manufacturing. Well, we figured out that a coil is the most cost-effective way to not only process that, but to put it on a truck and to take it someplace else and to make something out of it. So knowing that we have to use a coil, some feature that came up a long time ago was a coil car. Now, over the years it's been refined, and I'm going to go over our coil car and the features and functionality of coil cars today. So the coil car, what it does is it holds your coil and it gives you the ability to load it if you didn't have an overhead crane or if you want some version of coil storage or staging. The coil car itself has two axes in typical use. You have your x-axis and you have your y-axis. Now, there is one feature I will mention called a rotating V-nest. That V-nest is located in the top of the coil. It's actually what you set your coil on. The whole purpose of the V-nest is that your coil cannot roll in and out of that coil car. And that V-nest can rotate. So in order to give someone the ability to load the coil from a different orientation. Just in case, let's say you have a wall right here. Now you can load your coil from this direction easily and without any major issues. So moving on, you have other features that are incorporated to give you more safety, or at least a higher safety in operation. That is one feature called the anti-tip arms and another one called the coil riser. Now the anti-tip arms, these fold down. On our design, they are located on a rod that you can move them on into position, fold them back up, and what they do is they keep your coil from tipping. It's a very important thing to have in your standard operating procedures. We recommend that any coil less than 12 uses that as a basis of your standard operating procedure, and that you even look into even maybe potentially wider coils up to 18, 24 inches. It all depends on the OD of your coil, on the operation, on how quickly you want to change that coil in and out, and we'll leave to you. So moving on with the features of this, there's also something called the coil risers. Now, on our coil risers, we give you 6 inches more lift above your V-nest. So what does that do? That gives you the ability to run pup coils, or some people call them partial coils. Moving forward with this in loading, what it looks like is raising your coil car and being able to spear this coil. Before you spear it, you want to make sure that you're looking at your ID, that your mandrel is contracted fully or enough to be able to easily thread that coil or spear that coil. And you move it on to the mandrel, and you have now successfully used your coil car.